Vince, the green energy magnate, has said he is to stop funding direct action climate groups such as Just Stop Oil and instead funnel money towards getting the vote out for Labour at the next general election. He founded Ecotricity. He's funded a string of disruptive environmental protest groups, has supported Just Stop Oil since its inception, and has previously said his funding for the group has totalled some hundreds of thousands. Just Stop Oil controversy again in the last couple of days when they've been at Les Miserables, the West End, long-running West End musical, disrupting that, being on stage. They stopped those kind of tactics for a while, but the musical was abandoned. People paying up to £200 for tickets, a very special night out for many people, I'm sure. Robert, a very, very interesting one here in that Dale Vince has decided to change things, and it comes just in the wake, of course, of the Rutherglen by-election for Labour, which they've done, as Keir Starmer said, they blew the doors off with that result. What's your reaction, firstly, to Dale Vince, Robert Taylor?
Delighted. The more people that can turn away from Just Stop Oil's tactics, not its campaign necessarily. A lot of people agree with the campaign, disagree fundamentally with the tactics, which aren't working, which encourage criminality in other pressure groups, such as anti-ULEZ campaigners, for example, and just encourages anyone with cause to think that they can break the law with impunity. So the less funding and ideally the less publicity that Just Stop Oil gets, the better.
Well, indeed, and we saw that the other night with Les Miserables. I mean, they're clearly not giving up, and I'm sure that they would say, look, however much funding we have a bunch of very dedicated volunteers. I mean, some people would call them brainwashed, to be brutally honest, who are doing things like disrupting Les Miserables, which is very unpleasant, I'm sure, for the people who've paid quite a lot of money to go there. But also, they've said for a while that they were going to stop their tactics in terms of gluing themselves to the road and blocking roads and so on. There's a shift here in terms of Just Stop Oil, but there's a shift from Dale Vince as well, isn't there, Robert?
Yeah, and it's a really welcome shift. I mean, I'm not so sure about him contributing to Labour, whether that's going to help matters, but I'm delighted he stopped funding Just Stop Oil. What everyone is saying about Just Stop Oil is that they're a menace to society. They're actually losing their cause. What they're trying to achieve is unachievable. We've just seen that with the oil licences. They just seem to get off on disruptive criminality.
Yes, and there is that, absolutely, because there's not just this disruptive criminality, but also Dale Vince is someone who also funds the Labour Party and has been doing the two in parallel for a while. And what's interesting, I suppose, from the Labour Party's point of view is that they've been criticised for accepting his money, for saying, you know, they're the political wing of Just Stop Oil, which I don't think is true. Some people say it's true. It's certainly what the Conservative Party have been saying. Clearly, they're more green and more pro net zero and so on than the Conservative Party, especially with the recent shift from Rishi Sunak. But it is interesting from the Labour Party's perspective, because now they can say, well, actually, Dale Vince is a valued donor and he doesn't fund Just Stop Oil. So that criticism from the Conservatives and other people against the Labour Party will be much more or much less potent, won't it?
It will. It's like all Keir Starmer's Christmases come at once today. He wins a fantastic by-election result in Scotland. Then he has the Just Stop Oil funder saying, we're not going to fund Just Stop Oil anymore, but we'll carry on funding you. It just gets better and better for Keir Starmer, doesn't it?